it's a conference of progress. So, when we are doing the cultural competence module, I like this quote from Richard Wagamese, which so aptly captures what we are about as an organization and as a conference stage today. All we are is story. From the moment we are born to the time we continue on our spirit journey. We are involved in the creation of the story of our time here. It is what we arrive with. It is all we leave behind. We are not the things we accumulate. We are not the things we deem important. We are a story, all of us. What comes to matter then is the creation of the best possible story we can while we are here. You, me, us, together. When we can do that, and when we take time to share those stories with each other, we get bigger inside. We see each other. We recognize our kinship. We change the world one story at a time. So hopefully today we can do that. Thank you, colleagues.
And to reimagine how learning and creative spaces are structured. I'm committed to interrogating what we might mean by inclusion that everybody's bantering around.
I'm Dr. Cyrus Shakir. I'm an Associate Professor in Learning and Teaching, and I'm the Strategic Lead for Race Equity at Leeds Trinity University.
Race theory and black feminist lenses that treat lived experience, emotion and storytelling as legitimate forms. Each is linked through the ethical anchor of relationality. So we've got equity practice, which...
How do you evaluate whether improvements in trust, care and accountability are actually translating into measurable systematic change rather than remaining at the level of good intentions?
That's a brilliant question. I haven't tested the model yet. I published it because I was trying to bring together a number of different experiences over such a long time. So what I would say, I've tested various elements of it, and I guess this is kind of like a combination of what it might look like.
It was interesting to see that somebody commented this morning about the different roles that people have in the room this morning. There were members of the police force, people from educational institutions, and I think any professional institution, regardless of how they deal with people. We were talking to a young lad who works for Moto service station, and he himself noticed a lack of diversity in the management in that organisation. So any organisation that is interested in and committed to equality and diversity and wants a deeper understanding of the implications of working in this field should come to this conference.
I think there's like a sense of hopefulness that everyone is like pushing forward on lots of different aspects of EDI and accessibility work, and I think that's taking away, some inspiration from the day.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like you can see everybody's really passionate about making sure that each organisation is inclusive.
I recommend it, and I think almost anyone would benefit from attending this. It's everyone's job to be involved in EDI work.
Well, I think in the first instance, there's just something about having a community together, having a rich dialogue, conversation. I think it's easy to feel very lonely and isolated and like you're losing your mind a little bit doing this kind of work, and just being with people who, have the same, dealing with the same sort of challenges and thinking about these things is really, really helpful. I think I've enjoyed everything so far. I've enjoyed really some really practical presentations, and also really enjoyed the kind of diversity of practical challenges and issues people have been engaging with. I particularly enjoyed the first keynote. Found it, really engaging, really inspiring. A lot of overlap with my own work as someone working in the arts. So I think that was probably a highlight.
My favourite takeaway is a session that I did with Fanaz from the Open University. She spoke about neutrality as a political act within organisations. I would absolutely recommend this conference to other people. Anybody that's interested in humanity, in supporting each other, in looking at how do we get a fairer and more just society should come here.
There's been so many. The people have been really nice, and I'm currently undertaking my EDI fellowship, and a lot of it's been online, and this is the first time I've seen a lot of people face to face. So seeing people who I've seen online and speaking to them, but also I think just the nice open environment where people could just be, you could just be who you are, and you could just relax. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think anybody who's got an interest in inclusion or a responsibility for inclusion in the organisation should attend. Also, senior leaders would benefit from this as well, to look at the cohort of students and staff that you've got and make sure that you are an equitable organisation.
This conference is a really great space to be in, first and foremost. Kudos to Professor Miller and all the colleagues at the Institute for Equity University Centre. They are doing brilliant things for the whole sector. This conference here is about equity. It's not just about equity in education or health or the police. It's about equity across our society, across multiple sectors. So being in a space like this is incredibly enriching for the soul. It's re-energizing because you get to connect with people from all different backgrounds, professional disciplines, settings, and sort of sharing those ideas, those thoughts, those reflections, and knowledge building, basically. To some of the sessions around anti-racism, so around institutions, universities taking these positions of neutrality, particularly in the context of what's going on in terms of geopolitical violence. Also an organisation that worked with universities on trying to empower young Black people, students, to become leaders, and creating those safe spaces for growth, development, and building confidence. I would definitely recommend this conference to other people who want to come into a space of multidisciplinary, kind of whole cross-section of folks that are working in different sectors, in settings, that have a broad mission and commitment to equity. I would recommend people coming to this conference to not only share their knowledge and experience, but also to learn from other people and build that collective effort against racism, discrimination, and challenging inequity where we see it.